We're now joined by CEO of India Animal Fund, a well-known name in animal welfare circles, Anand Siva. Over to you, Dr. Roy.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, Anand, that you are working like with an obsession, a wonderful obsession about driving adoption and making sure that no animal is just left alone. Why and how are you doing this?
Why and how am I doing this? Why? Because I've seen all of these puppies and dogs change so many human lives before they change themselves. My own daughter, when we first brought in the rescue dog, stood 3 blocks away to look at the dog. Today, 3 of the 5 cats in my house were rescued by her. It changes people. Every home with a pet is a very different home, which is why I believe that a dog in every home and a home for every dog. And I'm happy to tell you that it is with that spirit that at India Animal Fund, we are today actually launching a dedicated website for adoption of all of our dogs and cats. And one of the things we're doing in the process is that we're actually bringing in dignity to these dogs. They're called by various names. They're called Indies, Desi Kutta, in Tamil they call it Terunai. There's nothing but telling us that they are, worthless on the streets. We are restoring their dignity. We're calling them the great Indian breed. We're setting up an integrated website today for fosters and rescuers to put up their rescues and go there, look for the right puppy, go through the procedures, see if you are right for the puppy and the puppy right for you, and start adopting today. I am obsessed, and I think if we could work with this, a dog in every home. I'll just give you a quick number if you have the time.
Yes, please.
If 1 in 10 households in Mumbai alone adopted a puppy, Mumbai will be stray-free. And if you can do this in everything, 1 in 10, that shouldn't be all that difficult in this country. And that's all we need to make India such a beautiful place for animals and so many compassionate households. So if you're looking at bringing joy...
Those 1 in 10 houses, those families will also be happier. I think that's a key point you mentioned.
Yes, the quality of life changes completely.
So when somebody says he's gone to the dogs, actually that's a compliment.
Yeah,
if a human being could be like a dog, be a much better person.
We do use it as a compliment, yes. No, my dogs don't agree with that.
No, they don't agree. Correct.
Now let's also talk about the issue of animal suffering, which extends to the illegal sale and purchase of protected animals and birds from pet shops, where they're kept in very, very cruel conditions. They're kept cramped up in small cages, very often without food and water or any sort of care to them. One such location is the Crawford Market, and that's something that we have covered in the past. Anand, if you could, talk about that. NDTV did this story on Crawford Market in 2008. It's an issue we have been following since about, the practices there, the cruelty. There's been the pandemic as well and a complete shutdown. What is the current situation there? The Bombay High Court had intervened to shut down the pet shops. But what is the reality really on the ground?
Well, I actually did a recce of Crawford Market last week ahead of the show. And I heard something very surprising, that all of those people have taken their trade online. So the dark web has something even more sinister now, and that's really pathetic because tracing them and finding out what's happening is going to be extremely difficult. But the fact is, most people don't associate smaller animals when you talk of wildlife or illegal breeding or threats, all of that, right? I don't know if you're aware, but most viewers may not be aware that we have hundreds and thousands of animals that are actually smuggled and traded even today for completely wrong medical reasons. For example, a gallbladder of an animal is still seen as something that is medical. A star tortoise is still purchased because Feng Shui tells them it's auspicious to have one in the room. And then these animals go through a lot of trauma. And they are, for instance, put through really traumatic situations like your story showed us. I think this is about, 15 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that, right? But nothing has changed. I've experienced a lot of these situations when COVID happened, when we were called saying people have left their animals inside and gone away to their villages. So going there and rescuing hundreds and thousands of hamsters, rabbits, birds. This is a never-ending situation, but it can be stopped if people woke up to the fact that these animals don't belong in your households. They must stop buying them. They must stop believing all of those wrong notations about medical illness and fitness and all of that, and let these animals be.
All right, Anand. Thanks very much, for sharing those
Can I
details.
just say something there?
Yeah,
Vishnu?
go ahead, Pradhoy.
There's this terrible occurrence in markets which we really must stop, and that is of turtles. A lot of people love turtle meat, and they just turn the turtle upside down. It's alive, and they say, how much do you want? Half a kilo? And they dig out half a kilo and give it to you, and the turtle is struggling there because they don't have refrigeration or whatever. So they just keep taking scoops out, depending on what people want. And that, we just have to stop that. It's just disgraceful.
That's absolutely ghastly.
Agree.